Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I've been working back on the van and I've been getting on with the painting because that's just a massive job, and now I'm going to cut out the third window, which I thought I would document and show you kind of how I do it. But I will show you where I'm at with the painting. So I've now done the whole front end, which is a big thing ticked off the list because the painting is just taking forever. I thought it'd be like a 2-3 day job, but no, it is taking a long time, which I'm getting a bit impatient because I want to get on with the inside, but it will look nice once it's done. And that's just the first coat, which is why it looks a little bit patchy, but it's looking nice. So I'm very pleased with that. The first step with the window is going to be taking off this panel. So obviously I need to take it off so I can access the metal behind it and make sure the template's right of where I'm going to put it, and then use a jigsaw to cut through. So that is the first step. I did record a little bit of myself painting just to show you kind of the process that I've been doing. So the first things first is scotching it down to make it all kind of rough so the paint basically sticks to the metal behind it. And then after that I use degreaser to get any of the dirt, grease off the panel, and then a tack rag to go over it, get rid of the dust and any other dirt. So that is the prep work, which does take quite a while. Like, it's a long process, the prep work, which is why it's taken so long. So I'll insert a clip of me working on the paint, and then obviously all I do is just roll on the paint, try and do like a thin first coat, and then second coat will be much thicker and it will just look more finished. So that is kind of where I've been up to. And as you can see, it has now had its first little coat. And also the masking taping off is a whole process in itself. I've had to obviously go around the whole window, any of the trim work, the door handle. I have been told that it's a 1-screw thing to take the door handles off, but for some reason I don't know how to do that, so I've just taped around the door handle. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with the painting. Tomorrow I'm going to be cracking on with the rest of the paint to get the first coat on, but there does need to be some welding work before I do that. Where I took off the slam lock, there is little holes there and there, so I need to get a bit of weld and panel in there, and then I can paint the rest of this. Apart from that, I don't see why I can't finish the paint job by maybe a week's time. Just need to get that sorted, but yeah. I'm just going to take off this panel. I've just undone the screws and it should just be like a lift out type thing. And then I need to rip out the insulation that's already behind the panel, and then I can start tracing out where I'm going to cut the window. So this should... the person I bought it off had done a vapor barrier, which I didn't do in my previous build, and it's a bit of a controversial one. So I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it or not, because I've heard that it can actually hold moisture, which is obviously not very good. So yeah, just going to rip this off. I've just found some recycled plastic insulation. Obviously I found that either rock wool or fiberglass one behind one of the other panels, but this is the good stuff. I need to get more of this and replace the rock wool fiberglass stuff, because that's not good. Yeah, I'm glad there's got some of that in there. It's now time to trace out where I'm going to cut. I've measured the window that I brought. It didn't actually come with any measurements or templates, so I'm going to have to kind of do it how I think and work out measurements and stuff like that. So that's it all off. All the insulation and boards are over there. But luckily the person I bought it off actually did insulate, because that saves me a lot of money. Like, this is not cheap, Celotex. So yeah, good little find that. So I've just traced out the template. That should be perfect for the window, and then I'm just going to go in with this to create the circular corners, which is a good little hack. Just got my safety glasses on, and now it's time to cut. So the plan is 4 holes in each corner, and then you go in with a jigsaw, being careful around the corners, because with a lot of my cuts I've snapped the blade, and then I found out that you have to go a little bit slower around the corners, and then you should have a perfect cut. So I've just measured and taped off around the corners so the paintwork doesn't get damaged, top tip. And now I'm going to go in with a jigsaw and cut. So take the panel off there. So I'm going to cut from the outside, and yeah, going to get to that now. So that is that window all done, which I'm very, very happy with. It's just come out so well. I've kind of got used to the jigsaw now, and I didn't even need to cut the 3 holes. I cut 1 hole and then just traced around the whole line that I drew. And it's turned out really well. So yeah, very, very happy at that. And then I'm not going to put the window on now. I'm going to paint the rest of the van and then wrap carpet around and bond the window on after that. Just to make it easier to paint, because if I put the window on now, then I'll have to paint around the window. So going to wait until I've painted over it and then bond the window on, tuck the carpet around the corners, around the edges of the window, so it has a really nice finish on the inside. So yeah, that's next to do, is finish the painting now. I do need to cut the max air fan in, but I might do that another time once I get the ceiling down, because the ceiling, they've bolted onto the beams of the van, so I need to sort out that. And then that's kind of all the holes cut, which is a big relief because cutting holes is always a stressful bit. So that is me all done for today. It's been like kind of a productive day, kind of not, I guess. I was very, very irritable to begin with. I just was fed up of painting, but doing that window has kind of like made me feel a bit better, and as if I've actually done something, because painting, you just feel like you're not getting anywhere, because you obviously have to paint and then you have to prep, paint and then do another coat, so you're like not actually making much progress with the paint, although it looks like it because I've now done. So I've finished 1 whole side, the front, and this is what I've done today. The bonnet, and around here. But you just don't realise how much of a big job it is with all the masking off and all of that. So yeah, slightly regretting doing the paint job myself, but once it's done, it's done. So I've just got to be a bit more patient and just keep cracking on, really. But yeah, I was a little bit fed up earlier today, but I feel as if I've done some kind of work. It was quite fiddly, like getting in the door. You have to kind of go along all the edges of the door, all down these edges, and then this was a bit tricky doing the fuel cap because I'm kind of not sure like where I should have painted. Like I didn't want to do the inside bit because I don't know. Yeah, so that was that. Hopefully I'll crack on with painting this side, maybe the roof tomorrow. But we're getting there, we are getting there. Something I wanted to say was earlier this week I done this window, and I basically cut the window, the plyboard, and then cut the frame out of the ply so it looks nice and neat. I do need to do that with my one I cut out today. So yeah, I'm going to put the ply back up, trace around it, and then put the ply back on with the hole cut out. So that's probably a task for tomorrow as well, maybe. But yeah, we are getting there. And once the painting's done, I can actually crack on with the inside, which I'm just so excited about because this is just getting a little bit boring now, just painting the outside. And yeah, I just want to kind of get into the good bit, really. But I know I'll probably get stressed with the inside, so I'm not going to kind of wish it away. But yeah, another day done in the workshop. I'm going to try to get down here a little bit earlier tomorrow. I got down here at 12 o'clock today and it's now 7? So that's like 7 hours. That's like a full day's work. And I don't actually mind working in the evenings just because it's a little bit cooler, it's quieter, and yeah, I'm kind of an evening person rather than a morning person. So yeah, progress update. Let me know what you think. I'm going to try and do like little videos every day or every couple of days whenever I'm kind of in the workshop, and just keep you guys completely up to date, because obviously I've done TikTok and Instagram before, but none of them go into depth this much. So it's nice to actually be able to talk about it to someone. Obviously you guys, I know you're not one person, but it's nice just to kind of chat about it, because I spend a lot of time in my own head trying to work out all these problems and it's not great. So it's nice to kind of open up about all the things in my mind about the van, because I feel like the people that I'm close with are fed up with me talking about vans, because it has become my whole personality. Yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. See you later.